Hello, my name is Kitika Wanna. I am a PC2 student. Today, I am going to report the news about the military agreement between the US and the Philippines. Recently, the President of the United States, Barack Obama, had a tour to 4 countries in Asia, starting with Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, and the Philippines. The aim seemed more successful in the Philippines than other countries in the trip. 2 countries signed the defense agreement, which is immediately producing the tension in Asia-Pacific region, because the US would have a role in the Philippines military. According to ABC News and BBC News, reported from Manila. On Monday, 28th of April, the President of the United States arrived in Manila. He went to meet the President of the Philippines, Benigno Aquino, at the residence. After they finished the meeting, they made the statement together. Obama said that the US is ready to support the Philippines if they dispute with China about the overlapping maritime area in the South China Sea. However, it doesn't mention that the US want to face up to China, but to make sure that every group still respects to international rules and the area of maritime dispute. The ambassador of the United States and the defense minister of the Philippines signed the defense agreement, which is the Philippines allow the US to use their permanent bases, air bases, and naval bases to take turn the US military and weapons for 10 years into the country. But ABC News also reported that the regulation of agreement do not allow the US to build a permanent bases and bring in a nuclear weapon. Moreover, the US used to have the bases in the Philippines, but it was stopped since 1992. The Filipino newspaper Inquirer reported, although the US confirmed that the agreement is made to build the stabilities in the Philippines and they do not have a proposal to build a permanent bases, a huge number of Filipinos remain to against the deal pact because they think that it would be dangerous for sovereignty of the countries and it would be increasing the pressure between their country and neighbor country about the overlapping maritime area. On the other hand, some Filipinos think that the agreement benefits for the country because the US could protect them from China. Next, I'm going to interview 2 people about this news to know their opinion. My name is Kitika Wanna, and today I'm going to interview you about the military agreement between the US and the Philippines. Please introduce yourselves.
Okay, so my name is Anupong Muthong Choi, and I'm a student of UIC Year 2 in Social Science, and my main concentration is on Southeast Asian studies.
Okay, so let's move to the question.
Okay.
Do you think that the agreement affects Southeast Asia?
I think it affects a lot in our region in ASEAN because, as you know, like the biggest major powers in politics are the US and the China. So if there is any kind of interactions or relationship between the US with our regions, it would create a lot of effects in both the politics, so many things, the environment and whatever.
Okay, and what are pros and cons for the Philippines?
For letting the US military system in the country, so I think the benefits that the Philippines will get would be a more stable system of weapons, the way that they can use the modern technologies in the way to fight with another countries, absolutely, like especially with the China for solving the problems that they are now having. However, like the things that are really dangerous for the Philippines is the way that they are intervened and interrupted by the US on the military things that would make the the world, the other countries will treat of the Philippines as pro-US and anti-China, so that create like not so good image for each country.
Okay. And in case of you are Thai people, do you agree or disagree if US makes the agreement with Thailand?
For sake of Thailand, for the benefit of Thailand, Thai government shouldn't let any kinds of agreements with the US or China or whatever countries, because if we take one side, we are gonna have the big enemy in the military. So I wouldn't say that it's suitable for our countries to join with whatever agreements.
Okay, thank you for your interviews.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Kitika Wanna. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Nick Ferryman.
Okay, today I will interview you about the military agreement between the US and the Philippines. What is the reason why the US makes the military agreement with the Philippines?
Primarily because it wants to contain China. The US sees China as the biggest rival, biggest competitor for global leadership. So it sees it as being strategically important to make it difficult for China to expand its interests. So locking it in so it's difficult for China to develop a maritime going capability, sea going capability, naval capability is going to be important. Having an American presence in the Philippines will make it difficult for the Chinese to expand their naval power outside of the inner China Sea. So that's the long-term aim, is to contain Chinese maritime power and make sure that America has a whole system, series of bases and countries that support it to block the exit of Chinese maritime power from on the coast of China. That's primarily the aim of that.
Okay. And do you think will the Philippines will act more strongly face to China in the future?
I think in the short to medium term, the answer to that is yes. A lot depends for the Philippines as to whether the US is able to sustain its military and economic might, its power. If it's not, then the Philippines may find itself having to go back to China and say sorry. Yeah, so I think the Philippines have got to be quite careful on that. They've got to make an assessment as to whether they think US power is going to be sustained for 20 or 30 years or more. If that is the case, then the Philippines may have chosen the right horse to back in this race. If not, and China is able to continue to develop economically, that's why it needs good maritime forces, because if there is an economic blockade, the Chinese need to be able to assure that their trade routes remain open, and the US want that ability to block that if there's a confrontation. So if the Chinese are able to continue to develop economically and do challenge the US politically for global leadership, then they may exact penalties on the Philippines for having supported Americans rather than them. So I think the Philippines have to be quite careful on this. So in the short to medium term, they'll probably get advantages. In the long term, that's open to question.
Okay, thank you for your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.